This is Jarrod Horak, and this is my latest Belmont Stakes update. It is Wednesday, May 29th, and the Belmont Stakes will be run at Saratoga later this spring, Saturday, June 8th. Now, typically the Belmont Stakes is run at Belmont Park, but there's ongoing construction at that venue, so they have moved the Belmont to Saratoga this year, and they have shortened the distance to 1.25 miles as opposed to the traditional 1.5 mile distance. Now, still 13 horses possible for the Belmont Stakes. Not all 13 are going to run. We're going to go through in alphabetical order, and we're going to catch up with the latest Belmont Stakes news. Now, Antiquarian is the first one we'll talk about for trainer Todd Pletcher. This one won the Grade 3 Peter Pan Stakes last out at 1 1/8 miles. He has good positional stalking speed, and he's one of 4 Todd Pletcher runners that are possible for the Belmont Stakes. And his next workout is going to be on Friday, May 31st. So he's one that is on the improve. He's going to have to continue to get faster, but he's certainly getting better at this point in his career. Now, Batten down for trainer Belmont. He had a recent workout. He breezed 5 furlongs in 1:01.09 seconds. That was best of 4 on the dirt training track at Saratoga on May 27th. The fractions 12.54, 24.80, 36.99 for the 3 furlongs. And he galloped out 6 furlongs in 1:14.19, 7 furlongs in 1:28.94, and he worked in company with Arthur's Ride. So as for Batten down, his brother was Belmont Stakes runner-up Tacitus. That one was also trained by Belmont, and this one broke his maiden at 1.25 miles last time out. So the distance isn't going to give him any trouble. It's just a question of will he be able to elevate his game, jumping up from the maiden ranks right into this Grade 1 race. Now, Dornoch should be a pace factor for trainer Danny Gargan, and he's going to work again on May 31st. So look for him to be part of the pace in the Belmont. He won the Remsen Stakes as a 2-year-old, and he won the Grade 2 Fountain of Youth Stakes at Gulfstream Park earlier this year. Disappointed in his last 2 starts in the Bluegrass Stakes and the Kentucky Derby, but he's one that has a nice pedigree, good speed, and he should at least impact the pace in the Belmont Stakes. Fierceness for trainer Todd Pletcher was the beaten Kentucky Derby favorite, and his next workout is going to be on May 31st. And he's one that has a lot of raw ability. He just hasn't been able to put 2 races back-to-back at this point in his career. Won his debut, then he disappointed in the Champagne Stakes, bounced back with a big win in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. He was your 2-year-old champion. He came back in the Holy Bull Stakes earlier this year. He was the heavy favorite, didn't have a great start. The pace was very slow. He ended up finishing a disappointing 3rd. In the Florida Derby, he got right out there and controlled the pace and romped. Then he had a big workout prior to the Kentucky Derby, and then he didn't run his race in the Kentucky Derby. He was up on the pace, but the pace was fast, and all of the horses that were forwardly placed weren't around at the end. So now Fierceness with that every other race is a good race pattern. If that continues, the Belmont Stakes would be a good race, but we'll have to see if he can bounce back and run a big race. I think the key to him is everything needs to go his way. He needs to have a good start. Most likely, if he can get to the lead and control the fractions, and the fractions aren't that fast, he'll have a good chance to win the Belmont. But if those things don't happen, I wouldn't be surprised if he finished up the track. Now, Honor Marie, this one has some news. His rider will be Florent Geroux in the Belmont Stakes. Now, his Kentucky Derby rider, Ben Curtis, broke his collarbone on May 18th, so he's out of action. That's why he needed a rider, and Florent Geroux will be his rider. He finished 8th in the Kentucky Derby, and before that, he was 2nd in the Louisiana Derby. So Anna Marie is one that has a decent late kick, and if the pace is honest in the Belmont Stakes, he's one that can make an impact in the stretch. Mindframe, 2 for 2 for trainer Todd Pletcher, with a combined win margin of over 21 lengths. He's got a lot of raw ability, but he's only run twice, and his next workout will be on May 31st, and they're going to decide what they want to do with him next. He could go in the Belmont, or they could end up saying that the Belmont is too much too soon, and they're going to possibly run him in the Pegasus Stakes at Monmouth Park as a prep race for the Haskell. We'll see what they end up doing with Mindframe. He's got a lot of ability, though. Mystik Dan, your Kentucky Derby winner and Preakness runner-up, he's possible for the Belmont Stakes for trainer Kenny McPeak. He does continue to gallop at Saratoga Racecourse, and they're going to make a decision about his Belmont status this weekend. Protective is a maiden for trainer Todd Pletcher, and his next workout, just like the other Pletcher trainees, will be on Friday, May 31st. He hit the board in back-to-back stakes races in his last 2 starts, 3rd in the Will Memorial, 3rd in the Peter Pan Stakes. So he's got some talent, but they could end up running him in a maiden race next. They could go for the Belmont Stakes, or they could go for an easier stake spot. We'll have to see what they decide to do with Protective. Seize the Gray, your Preakness winner. He worked at Churchill Downs on May 29th, 6 furlongs in 113 flat. A decent workout. The fractions were 24.60, 48.20, and he galloped out 7 furlongs in 126 flat. A good workout. Wayne Lukas was happy with the energy level and happy with the work. His rider, Jamie Torres, also happy with the work. To Seize the Gray seems to have bounced out of the Preakness Stakes in good order, and he's definitely going to be a pace factor in the Belmont. Now, Sierra Leone, he had a workout last Saturday, and he will work again this weekend. His final Belmont Stakes work will come on Saturday. And Flavien Prat has been named to be his new rider for the Belmont Stakes. So Sierra Leone just missed in the Kentucky Derby. Everybody knows the story. He lugged in, and that probably cost him the race. He has a bad habit of lugging in. They're trying to work on his equipment, maybe change up his bit for the Belmont Stakes. They've changed the rider, and we'll have to see how he ends up doing in the Belmont. He's your likely Belmont favorite, and if the pace is honest, he's certainly the horse to beat. The Wine Steward for trainer Mike Maker. This is a New York bred, and he worked 4 furlongs in 48 flat, 23rd best of 180 at Churchill Downs on May 25th. Then Mike Maker said he's possible for the Belmont, or he could also run him in the Woody Stevens at 7 furlongs for the Belmont Stakes Day Festival. So they're going to decide what they want to do with him. He was second last time out in the Peter Pan Stakes at 1 1/8. I'm not sure that 1 1/4 is going to do him any favors. The longer distance, I think maybe a shorter distance is better for him, but we'll see what they end up doing with the Wine Steward. Thorpedo Anna, your Kentucky Oaks winner, she could run in the Belmont for trainer Kenny McPeak if Mystik Dan doesn't go there. They're both not going to run. So if Mystik Dan does go in the Belmont Stakes, Thorpedo Anna will instead run in the Grade 1 Acorn at Saratoga on June 7th at 1 1/8. And if they do decide to go for the Belmont, she'll have to be supplemented to the Belmont Stakes for $50,000. And then finally, Tuscan Gold for trainer Chad Brown. He's the second Chad Brown trainee. Sierra Leone is his more highly regarded runner. Tuscan Gold, lightly raced. He was 4th in the Preakness Stakes. Didn't handle the wet track. Before that, he was 3rd in the Louisiana Derby. That was his first stakes start after breaking his maiden impressively. So Tuscan Gold, good pedigree. I don't think the 1 1/4 is going to give him any issues, which is a question of how much energy will he show in a workout this weekend. If he shows good energy, Chad Brown's probably going to run him back, and he would like to see a fast track for the Belmont Stakes to see if Tuscan Gold can bounce back and run a better race. So that's a look at the 13 horses and the latest news for the Belmont Stakes. And keep checking my YouTube channel. I'll be coming back with these Belmont Stakes updates as we keep getting news. And there's going to be a lot of news obviously coming in Friday. As I mentioned, at least 5 workouts are scheduled for Friday. And I'm going to be doing my annual Belmont Stakes full card. I'm also going to be covering full cards for all 4 days of the Belmont Stakes Festival, June 6th through 9th at Saratoga. So you can find those full cards at the runawayhorse.com on my sales page. And I've had a lot of success in the Belmont in the last 10 years. I've had winning tickets on my full cards 8 of the last 10 years in the Belmont Stakes. So that has been my most successful Triple Crown Series race in the last 10 years. During that same time, I hit the Preakness 6 times, the Kentucky Derby 3 times. So the Belmont Stakes I've really done well with, and hopefully I can continue that success in 2024. Now, if you want $3 off my Belmont Stakes full card, you can get that $3 off by using the promo code in the description in this video. So just read the description in this video. I'm going to have the promo code for $3 off my Belmont Stakes full card, and that full card will be available Belmont Stakes week at the runawayhorse.com on my sales page. And also, if you go over to todaysracingdigest.com, you can read all of my Belmont Stakes articles. And then also, if you need past performances for the Belmont Stakes races, for the Belmont Stakes Festival for all those days, you can get those past performances Belmont week at todaysracingdigest.com. That'll wrap up this video. Until I see you next time, good luck at the races.